Sylvester here. All right, I want to share a little story and maybe get a lesson from it. Because even at 65, I've been training since 1970. I'm still learning stuff about martial arts all the time. And this is the lesson. It was a self-defense lesson I learned last week when I was in Vegas. I was just standing there and I said something to one of the competitors in the tournament, and it might have come off a little like, I said you put out really good during the tournament, and I meant she put out really good technique. But then after I said put out and she walked away, I said, I didn't mean it that way, and it was obvious I did. It was a joke that I said that. But her husband just seemed really like, he came back and he said, hey, don't talk about my wife. And he was like half joking, half laughing, half smiling, half frowning. And I couldn't tell. He was kind of a little guy, not very, very imposing guy, not intimidating or anything. So I didn't feel threatened at all, but he was like in my zone. But he was kind of half smiling and he goes, hey, don't talk about my wife like that. And I was laughing because I thought he was joking. So he walked away. Then my wife laughed. And then he got really pissed and he came back and he got in my face. He goes, I don't talk about my wife. And again, he was like half smiling. Maybe he was like really angry. I didn't think he was a threat. And I wasn't ready in case he was. He ended up walking away, but I found out he was angry. He just didn't, he didn't do anything. But what if he did? And I didn't deem him a threat because I thought he looked, he was a kind of a smaller guy, not very intimidating looking. And I didn't feel he was a threat. I thought he was joking, number one. And number two, even if he wasn't, I had no threat radar that went up. Maybe it should have, because he could have got in a good punch or maybe even pulled a weapon. But my point is, I did not deem him a threat, so I didn't treat him like a threat, even though he came into my space and said something that was, kind of, a little not really friendly, like, don't talk about my wife. But then he smiled, so I thought he was joking, but I should have, I think, taken my step back and said, back the fuck off, bro. But then if he was joking, then what if he was joking? So I didn't want to overdo it and look like I'm paranoid, but I should have. So that's a lesson at 65 that I learned. No matter what the circumstance, if somebody could be smiling and saying something like, aggressive to you, take that step back. I should have taken the step back, right? At least. To say back the fuck off, I thought was a little aggressive because if he was joking, now I look like a fucking clown. So, but then if he hit me and I got knocked out, I'd look like a bigger clown. So what do you think I should have done differently? And what would you do if it was you? So like I said, my thing is, I didn't think it was a threat, but maybe maybe getting older like this, my threat radar isn't working as well. But anyway, tell me what you think, all right, guys? If you want more of this great content, go to thepit.tv. All right, thanks for coming. Don't let anyone take your lunch money.